Good day! Are we digitally ready? This is a question that teachers and learners are probably asking right now. With the advent of DepEd's Digital Rights program, the Open Educational Resources, or OER, was woven together and finally realized. This project prioritizes the necessity to enhance the digital literacy skills of every teacher and learner in the country. Our OER mission is to connect the disconnected. OER is indeed an innovative initiative with a lofty aim to get disconnected schools and last-mile schools connected through ICT even without an internet connection.
It is designed to cater to the need of these schools for interactivity, digitalization, and delivery of 21st century skills that will ensure that every learner is future ready. Join us in another training workshop and learn more about open educational resources, whose primary purpose is to provide support and assistance to learners and teachers in this rapid advancement of technology. Our goal is to build and strengthen the capabilities of public and private teachers, school heads, and supervisors by teaching you to create and design interactive, localized, and contextualized instructional materials for teaching using basic, advanced, and proficiency software and tools. Surely, this will be another exciting and engaging webinar training workshop. Together, let's all rise amidst this crisis. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, para sa guro. Sulong edukalidad!
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng DepEd Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Okay, ayan! Okay, ayan, okay. Sige, okay. Isang mapagpalayang hapon sa inyong lahat. Hello, hello mga estudyante ko. Grade 7 learners, teachers, parents, educators, mga kaibigan ko, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Welcome po tayo sa ating another week of ETUlay online tutorial program hatid sa inyo ng Educational Technology Unit ng Department of Education. By the way, I think this would be the last week of our quarter 3. Yay! Woo! At nairaos rin natin. Week 7 na ngayon. So, kamusta mga estudyante? I hope you are all fine. You are well, malakas, maliksi, masigla dahil tayo na naman ay maglalakbay para sa ating pagkatuto ng Science 7. Hello, hello po. Hi to Jasmine Guinness. Hello po, Kuya Rogar. Hi! Hello, hello. By the way, sa mga hindi pa nakakilala sa akin, ako nga pala ang inyong bibang-bibang tutor, Tutor Rogar, nang galing sa Division of Davao City. Hello, hello, isa po akong Davaoenyo, galing Mindanao. Hello po. Kamusta po aking mga kamag-aral? Most especially ang aking paaralan sa Francisco Bangoy National High School. Hello po sa ating mabuting at butihing principal, Rolando R. Capul, and our Science Department Head, Dr. Karen Cabus. Hello, hello, and also our friends there out there. Hello, kamusta? I hope you are well, fine, and well, good. Kamusta po tayong lahat? Sana'y nakakain na po dahil tayo maglalakbay patungo sa ating pagkatuto sa Science 7. Ano nga bang ating pag-aaralan ngayon? Okay, so ang ating pag-aaralan ngayon ay patungkol sa let's charge in. Yan, Science Grade 7, Quarter 3, Week 7. Ayun. So ano nga ba ang nasa isip mo pag sinasabi nating let's charge in? 'Di ba? More on charge. So more on electricity. So magpag-aaralan natin ngayon ang mga elektrisidad and charges. So, okay. So ngayon, simpisahan na natin. Yan. By the way, before we proceed to our program or our tutorial, I would like to give recognition to our ETUlay Tuti of the Week. Hello, hello to John Carlo, a grade 7 student from Baquero Integrated School Division of Isabela. Ayan, hello, hello John Carlo. I know you are listening and watching from Division of Isabela. And sabi niya na marami siyang natutunan last week about heat transfer. Ayun. So later, I will going to announce kung paano nga ba magiging Tuti of the Week. Okay? So I hope you are all excited and for you to be recognized naman sa inyong mabuting ginagawa. Maraming salamat, Giancarlo. Saludo ako sa iyo sa harap na at sa hirap ng buhay at sa harap ng pandemya ay mayroon kang natutunan dahil sa ETUlay tutorial, online tutorial. Okay, sige. Ayan. Pagpatuloy na natin. Okay. Our topic is anchored in the most essential learning competency ng Week 7. Yan, Week 7 yan, yeah, Week 6. Sorry, hindi ko na-edit. Okay. We have only one most essential learning competency, which is describe the different types of charging process. So we're going to learn, sabay-sabay nating pagtutunan kung anong ba iba't ibang ways on how or types on how to charging processes. Okay? And we have objectives of today's lesson. Number 1 is to identify the different types of charging processes. It's a charging by friction, charging by conduction, and charging by induction. So all of those, we will going to learn all of those at sabay-sabay natin yung pagtutunan. Yun. Ay, hello, Giancarlo Toyo Tugibaw. Yan. Siya nanunood siya. Hi, sir. Yes, ikaw yung Tuti of the Week. Okay, so before we start, let's ask, are you ready? I hope you are all ready. I think you are, di ba? Sige. Hello to Chloe Faye Bocchio, watching from QP's National High School, Northern Corner, Division of Apayao. Wow, ang galing talaga ng mga Division of Apayao, no? Sige. At lahat ng divisions magagaling. Ayun. Sige. But before that, let's have a pre-test and let's try how far you've learned about the lesson. Okay, ready ba kayo? Sige, maghanda na ng inyong papel, kahit anong papel, at saka yung self-learning module ninyo ng Week 7 para sabay-sabay natin itong pagtutunan. Matutuhan, rather. Number 1, which of the following describes charging a conductor by bringing a charged object near it? A, induction. B, neutralization. C, polarization. Or D, conduction. Okay? The answer is conduction. Okay? Next. What charging method is demonstrated when a rubber balloon is rubbed with hair? A. Friction. B. Grounding. C. Conduction. D. Induction. Okay. The answer for number 2, it's letter A. Okay. Friction. Sige. Sige lang. Don't worry if you get wrong answer because this is just a pretest. Later on, we will going to learn more as you going to realize what is really the correct answer. Number 3, what method is described by charging an object without touching it? Yun. A. Conduction. B. Grounding. C. Induction. D. Friction. Hello kay Jade Aberia sa floor. Thank you for your answers. Number 3, its answer is letter C. Tama si Regine Alejado. Wow! Galing ah. Number 4, what method of charging is evident when a negatively charged rod touches a conductor? Okay, A. Friction. B. Induction. C. Conduction. D. Convection. The correct answer for number 4 is, yes, it's conduction. Okay, number 5. Which of the following describes transferring charges between objects by rubbing? Okay, which of the following describes transferring charges between objects by rubbing? A. Charging by induction. B. Charging by friction. C. Static discharge. Or letter D. Grounding. So what's your answer? Tingnan nga natin kung ano mga sagot nila sa number 5. Okay, Regine Alejado answered letter B. John Carlo Toro Tugibao, our Chuti of the Week, answered letter D. Chloe Faye Bokyo answered letter B. The correct answer is letter B. Yan, charging by friction. Congratulations! Wow, I think all of you, some answered correctly. Congrats, ang gagaling. Okay, so let's begin our lesson. But before that, let me help you to recall the lesson when you were in grade 5, I think, about the atom. Okay? Sige. Balikan natin kung saan talaga nanggaling yung charging. Sige. Okay. This is a atom. That is one of the models of atom. Now, an atom is the basic unit of an element, right? And in an atom, there are particles present on it. We have the proton, neutron, and electron. Now, where is the proton and where is the neutron? And where is the electron? Kayo nga, saan dyan sa figure na yan, ang proton at neutron at saka electron? Okay, good. Proton and neutron is located in the center, which is in the nucleus, while the moving particles around it or surrounding it is the electron. Okay, so meaning gumagalaw-galaw si electron. Keeps on traveling from place to one another with the guide of an orbit, di ba? Para siyang orbit, para siyang planetary. Okay? Yun. Next. Okay, let's understand the basic concept of that. Okay. Proton and neutron found in the central of the atom, which is in the nucleus. The electrons there are the moving particles. Yan. Sabi ni Jade Abby Reyes sa floor, proton is the positive one. Very good. Yan, advanced. And these particles carry with them the basic property of matter called electric charge. So that's why kailangan nating pag-aralan ang different particles of an atom kasi dyan tayo magsisimula to know the electric charges of the different particles. Okay? Sige. Shall we proceed? Now, let's unlock the difficult terms as we go along with our topic. Kasi lagi akong nagsasabi, charging, charge. So charging is a process of increasing the excess electrical charge of an object by gaining or losing electrons. Okay? I would like to emphasize that charging is an excess electrical charge of an object by gaining or losing electrons. Next. If we say positively charged, if an electrically neutral object loses electrons, and it is called protons, and the sign is in the positive one, parang siyang plus. Okay? If an object loses an electrons, it is called as positively charged. Okay? Take note of that. Ilagay sa utak. Ilagay. Okay? Yan. Pag sinasabi naman nating negatively charged, if it gains electrons, and it is called electrons. Negative. Yan. A negative sign is siyang line, dash, and that is what we call negatively charged. Okay? Ano yung positively charged? When the electron is losing electrons while the negatively charged is gaining electrons. Okay. Next, pag sinasabi naman nating neutral charged, there is no charges and it is neutrons. Okay? It is said to be that all things are neutral. However, there is losing and gaining of electrons. That's why it became positive and negatively charged. Okay? Sige. Before we proceed, I would like to say hi and hello to one of our best tutors, Ma'am Jessica. Good afternoon. Yan. And also to Kathleen Soriano watching from Ingud Ramona Integrated School, Angadanan West District Division of Isabela. Yan. Thank you. Now, I would like you to take note of this following terms. Yan. Remember that charges cannot be created nor destroyed. So, hindi tayo pwede maggawa ng charge or even walain. That is in natural. Ano siya? Natural siya. In nature siya. Cannot be created nor destroyed. However, charges can only be separated in electrification, charging of the objects like in friction, induction, and conduction, which are the three types of charging processes. Yon, okay? Sige. Yan. According to Luke Manosa, he shared that positive proton, negative electron, and zero neutron. Yes, tama ka, Luke Manosa. Take note also that an object becomes positively charged when it loses electrons, while become negatively charged when it gains electrons. Okay, just like this figure. Okay, so just like that figure, you may able to observe that there is gaining and losing of electrons. Question, bakit si electrons ang laging nagigain at laging naglo-lose? Bakit hindi pwedeng si proton and neutron? Do you have any idea? Because electrons are the only particles who are keep on moving. Okay? So that's why ito kasing si electrons is malikot eh. Kaya siya yung naglo-lose at meron ding nagigain. Again, pag nagigain ng elections, meaning it is negatively charged. Pero pag na-remove si election, it is, or nag-lose ng elections, it is positively charged. Para din niya siyang buhay ng tao. Diba? Kumbaga, parang buhay ng tao. Diba, si elections is negative. Kung lagi kang nagigain ng negative, so what will happen to you? So lagi mong ini-entertain yung mga negative vibes, negative situations, nagigain ka ng negative sa puso mo. That's why, anong mangyayari sa'yo? So magiging negative ka na lang. Wala kang magagawa kasi negative na ka na. Pero, if you try to lose, tanggalin ang mga negative elections or negative sa buhay mo, you will gain a positive life. Di ba? Napaka-emote. Oo, totoo yan. Para siyang ganun na analogy para hindi ninyo mahirapan. So, gawin natin yon. So, again, para siyang buhay ng tao, pag laging nag-lose ng negative, so meaning, nagiging positive ka sa life. Pag negative naman ang lagi mong kinakain o ginigain sa sarili mo, nagiging negative ka sa life. Okay? So, take note of that kasi importante yan para sa mga basic concepts. Yun. Are we still okay? I hope we were. Yan. So, what is charge? Yan. Sabi ni Teach Jessica, negative na ang nag-generate sa utak ng tao pag laging finifeed yung negative vibes, di ba? Sige. Para may hugot ka, Teacher Jessica. Okay, now, what is charge? Okay, basically, a charge is a property of the particles that make up the atom of an element. Okay? And take note that in an element, there is an atom. Okay? That in every atom, there is the positively charged, the negatively charged, and the neutral charge. Okay? So an atom is made up of electrons that carry a negative charge, protons that carry a positive charge, and neutron with neutral charges or charge. Diba? Tsaka, Teacher Jessica said, kailangan pag lalong naglulus tayo ng mga toxic people. Yan. Okay, may hinuhugutan talaga ito si Teacher Jessica. Hello, Teacher Jessica. I hope you're doing fine. Okay, now, let's discuss the different types of charges or charging. Yan. Friction. Alam natin tong friction na to kasi 'di ba when there are two objects having that, for example, itong kamay mo, ganyan mo, so that's already a friction, right? And it could create heat, 'di ba, in your hands. Sige. Here in this types of charging, friction is the transfer of electrons from one uncharged object to another by rubbing the two objects together. Some electrons can move to the other object when rubbing. Okay. So, ganito. Let's have an example. Yan. That is an example of a friction charge. Why? Because the balloon here is negatively charged while the hair became the positively charged and became attracted to each other. So, the balloon will going to be, pag nirarab mo yung hair, yung balloon mo sa hair, yan, ginaganon mo, surprisingly, the balloon will become negatively charged. And your hair will become positively charged. Ano nga bang nangyari? The balloon became negatively charged because it gains electrons, while the hair loses electrons. That's why it became positively charged. Yan. So, hindi po yan siya magic. Meron po tayong tinatawag na scientific explanation. That's why it became attracted to each other. Si positive and negative charge is attracted to each other. Opposite attracts, ika nga. Okay? Yes. I miss you. I miss you too, sis. Okay. Yan. Okay. Another charge. Yan, parang matahimik ang aking mga estudyante ngayon, ha? Sige. Another charge is induction. Ano nga ba tong induction na to? Sige. Charging by induction, where the charged object is brought near but never contacted to the object being charged. Okay. That's why there is no contact. Kaya siya tinatawag na induction. So for example, in that video, look at the coil and the spear, metal spear. The coil is a negatively charged and the spear has positive and negative. But it becomes positive. Yan. Electrons move within the object, making the closest side oppositely charged. So, hindi na-touch ng coil or something para siyang tubo which is negatively charged at lumayo yung negatively charged or negative charges. Okay? And that's what we call induction. Charging by induction where the charged object is brought near but never contacted to the object being charged. Okay? Ayan. Another example is the conduction. Ayan. Types of charging. Okay. The other term for conduction is charging by contact. Ayun. Hello, Katlea Soriano from Ingod Ramona Integrated School. Hello po. And to Micah Gail Lopez Zalun. Yan. Maraming nanonood sa Bakero Integrated School. Hala. Thank you so much. Yan. So what do you mean by this? And ano ang pagkakaiba ng induction at saka conduction? Okay, look at the video. Yan. 'Di ba? Sige. Next. Charging by conduction involves the contact of a charged object to neutral object. So, the video, as you can see in the video, the negatively charged becomes negatively charged when it is touched, yan, from the negatively charged. Yun. So, the electrons transfer to object, making it the same charge. That is what we call the conduction. Okay? So again, tingnan natin ang video. So the negatively charged object becomes negatively charged when the the object touches to another object. And that's what we call conduction. Balikan natin ang ating pinag-usapan last week about good conductor of heat. Parang ganun din. 'Di ba? What are the good conductors of heat? 'Di ba? Those are the metals, 'di ba? And other form of aluminum and metals. So therefore, if you say conduction, it is the capacity to flow, okay, of charges. The negative charge flows into the other object to become another negative. So that is what we call gaining. Okay, gaining electrons. So electrons transfer to the object, making it to the same charge. Yan. And I know na medyo mahina ang internet ngayon, internet connection, because of sa amin dito sa Davao, medyo may problema, umuulan-ulan every afternoon at saka gabi. Kaya ganun. But kahit na ganon, tuloy pa rin ang ating tutorial. Okay, sorry po sir, nagbabak, mahina po kasi yung net ko po. Ayan, it's okay. It's okay and it's alright. Alright, okay. Sige. Ayun. So, let's try to remember the following terms in this topic. Ayan. So, a charge is a property of the particles that make up the atom of an element. So, that's the meaning of charge. And it is an atom is made up of electrons that carry negatively charged, protons who carry positively charged, and neutron with neutral charges. Okay. Now, another. An object that loses electrons becomes positive charge, while an object gains electrons become negatively charged. So don't forget what I've said to you, that if you lose an electron, if the object loses an electron, it becomes positively charged. When an object gains electrons, it becomes negatively charged. Para din siya, again, buhay ng tao. If you always feed about negative vibes, negative situations, negative lahat, then you will be turned into negative one. So negative na yung perspektibo mo. Pero pag sinasabi naman nating you lose electrons, tinanggal mo yung mga negative vibes sa buhay mo, and you will have a positive outlook in life. Okay? Ayun. Hello, ETUlay, Eglio. Yes, I remember you 2 weeks ago and last week. Sorry po, late po. It's okay. So, tuloy-tuloy pa rin tayo. Okay lang yan. Diba? Maraming salamat who's still watching me on this ETUlay tutorial session. Thank you. Okay, let's proceed. And don't forget that metals are usually loosely bound electrons and they are good conductors. That's why we have to be careful. Most especially tayo, mga bata, mga estudyante, na kapag, yung gumagamit ng kuryente, okay, meron ako dito, for example, ito, like itong charger na to. Diba? Nakita nyo ba? Yan. Yung charger na to, hindi kailangan dapat hawakan to. Yung pag nag-charge. No, kailangan dito kayo hahawak. Kasi metal ito eh. This is metal and this is a good conductor. It can flow current or electricity. So might be, makukuryente ka. And possible, mas worse pa ang mangyayari sa iyo. So you have to be careful. Diba? And yun, so bawal yung sasaksakan na isaksak yung bawal yun. So mag-ingat po tayong lahat. Yeah, tsaka sa ating mga momshies, okay, Happy Mother's Day yesterday. Yan. So bantayan po natin ang ating mga anak. Opo, na hindi po sila magkaroon ng aksidente. Okay? Thank you so much. Another is that for objects like insulators, plastics, they can get charged by rubbing or friction. Okay? And then for metals, where there are more loosely bound electrons, they can get charged without contact by induction. Okay? And another metals, for metals again, they can also be charged by direct contact by cold conduction. Okay? So don't forget the friction, the induction, and the conduction. Sige. So, ayun. Yan. Hello, Judilyn Kama, one of the tutees of the week last week. Yes. Sige. Let's proceed. Ayun. Sabi ni, okay, mag-sharing lang po tayo. Sabi ni Giancarlo Torrio Tugibaw, pag nag-agawakan po yung pag nahawakan po yung bakal, habang nag-charge, baka po makuryente ka po. Yes, tama. So you have to be careful. Wag kayong mag-ingat talaga na hindi dapat ito hahawakan. Okay? At walang hawak na bakal para mas safe. Okay? Tama? Tama? Ano pa yung nyo? Meron pa po bang mag-share patungkol dito? Ano pa ang dapat nating gawin para hindi tayo makuryente? Ayun, tama si Giancarlo, no? Very good. Okay, always remember again. Okay. Yan, nabalik na pala ito. Okay, so now, before we proceed, I would like to thank you all for your participations, and we will have our assessment kung ano yung natutunan nyo sa ating lesson for this week. Yan. So, yun na. Tapos na tayo. Nagkaroon na tayo ng identification of the three charges. The friction, the induction, and conduction. We also learn about the particles of an atom, and each particle has different charges. The proton has positively charged, electron has negatively charged, and neutron has neutral charges. And then you've also learned that if an object loses an electron, it became positively charged. But when an object gained an electron, it became negative, which is, yes, electron. Okay, thank you so much. Ayun, may nag-share pa. Okay, sabi naman ni Ma'am Jessica, huwag magsaksak ng utensils na bakal kasi may chances na makukuryente ka direkta sa saksakan na nakakamatay. Yes, totoo yun. So, very dangerous. Kaya bantayan natin ang ating mga anak na huwag maglagay ng kahit anong mga yung utensils at ipangsaksak nila sa, ang tawag ni sa plug in English o sa saksakan. At lalong-lalo na pagbasa ang kamay, mas malala pa doon. Yes, maraming salamat Teacher Jessica sa iyong sharing. Ayun, maraming salamat. Okay, now let's proceed to our assessment. Ayan. Sige, handa na ba kayo? I think you're all ready. Sige. What type of charging is described when a charged balloon is brought near a metal rod but does not touch each other? Is it A, conduction, B, friction, C, convection, D, induction? Okay, again, the charged balloon is brought near a metal rod but does not touch each other. Ano siya? So don't forget to put number on your chat box. Ayun. Luke Manosa answered A. Jade Aberias answered D. Okay, take note that does not touch each other. So there is no touching. Nagkalapit lang. The correct answer is letter D. It's induction. Ayun. Okay lang? Sige. Number 2. Which of the following materials can its excess charges easily flow? Yan. Which of the following materials can excess charges easily flow? Yung easily flow lang yung kanyang electricity. Letter A, glass. B, rubber. C, metal. D, plastic. What's the answer? Okay lang na mali. Don't worry. Alam ko namang ang tatalino nyo eh. Okay. Stephanie answered C. Giancarlo answered C. Kathleya C. Marinelli C. Luke answered B. Regine answered C. The correct answer, it's letter C. Metal. Yun. Si metal is easily flow current. Okay. That's why metal is also called as good conductor. Number 3, a negatively charged metal rod is connected to a neutral metal sphere. What will the metal sphere become? Yun. So si negatively charged metal rod is connected to a neutral metal sphere. What will metal sphere become? Okay, in example ko to kanina. 'Di ba? A, electrically neutral. B, negatively charged. C, positively charged. Or letter D, polarized. What's the correct answer? Rain Alejado answered electrically neutral. Chloe answered positively charged. Luke Manosa answered letter B, negatively charged. Marnelli answered letter C. Ma'am Jessica answered C. John Carlo answered letter C. Okay. This is an example of a conduction. Okay. The correct answer is letter B, negatively charged, and only Luke Manosa got it right. Ayun. Thank you so much. Ayan. It's okay. Sige. Bawi na sa next question. Next. What method of charging is evident when negatively charged rod touches a conductor? Ayun. What method of charging is evident when a negatively charged rod touches a conductor? A. Friction. B. Induction. C. Conduction. Or letter D. Convection. Yun. So, touches a conductor. Ayan. Luke Manosa answered letter A. Giancarlo answered letter D. Chloe answered letter C. Marnelli answered letter C. Okay. Ayun. Okay. The correct answer is letter C, conduction. Okay, tama si Chloe and Marnelli. Congratulations. Ayan. Okay, the last question. Which of the following describes transferring charges between objects by rubbing? Yun. A, charging by induction. B, charging by friction. C, static discharge. Or letter D, grounding. Luke answered letter B, charging by friction. Kathleya answered letter B. Angel answered letter B. Marnelli answered letter A. Lorena answered letter C. Regine answered letter B. Giancarlo answered 1. Okay. So the correct Ma'am Jessica answered letter A. Chloe answered A. So the correct answer between by rubbing, the correct answer, Roxanne answered letter B. The correct answer, it's letter B. Charging by friction. Yes! Okay, who got it correct? Correct answers. Kindly count your correct answers. And you can also share to me your answers. Yan. Congratulations. Thank you so much for your active participation. Ayun. Okay. So now, this time I am going to tell, okay, Sabi ni Ma'am Jessica, 2 out of 5. Okay lang yun. Pasado pa rin. Ayun. Yay! Congratulations! Ayun. Sige, it's okay. It's okay na magkamali. Walang problema yan. Lahat tayo natututo. Okay. So ngayon, I am going to tell you how can we able to choose the certified Batang Science viewer. Yes. Then you can also join with me in our ETUlay tutorial session. Okay. Yes, tama. Babawi tayo. Thank you. Thank you so much na Leia. Okay, number 1, tumutok lamang sa ETUlay sa iba't ibang social media platforms. It could be in YouTube, it could be in Facebook, it's in DepEd Edtech Unit, DepEd Philippines, DepEd TV, or DepEd Tayo. Yon. Tapos sa number 2, magpo-post lang ng selfie at mga output na may hashtag na hashtag ETUlay, hashtag Science7, or hashtag Science Tutor Rogar. Ayun. Yes. And ang mapapalad na viewer at School of the Week ay i-anunsyo ko sa aking live ETUlay online tutor sa Science7 1 ng hapon hanggang 1:40 ng hapon. Yun. Kanina, our tutor of the week is si John Carlo Torio Tugibaw. Congratulations! Ngayon, I'm so excited kung sino naman ang ating tuti of the week. Yan. So, kita-kits mga batang siyensa dahil gusto ko masaya ka. Now, yan. Now, this has been your tutor Rogar at your service, at magkita-kita na naman tayo sa ating 4th quarter first week next week. Wow! Ang bilis talaga ng ikot ng mundo, di ba? So parang kailan lang na nasa first week ng quarter 3. Ngayon, next week will be our fresh quarter, which is quarter 4. Week 1. So please, wag po kayong magsawa na to follow our ETUlay online tutorial. Maraming salamat sa mga active participation. Maraming salamat sa lahat-lahat. And congratulations sa lahat ng mga estudyante. Saludo ako sa inyo. Naway ipagpatuloy lamang ang inyong magandang adhikain at magandang ginagawa para sa bayan at para sa pamilya. Maraming salamat po sa lahat. I would like also to shout out to all my friends out there. Thank you so much and happy birthday, Milchin Garcia. May you have many birthdays to come. Hello po. Sana'y masaya ang iyong kaarawan. Maraming salamat. At saka sa aking mga estudyante ko virtually, sana'y magkita-kita tayo muli sa ating next week na ETUlay tutorial platform. Thank you and God bless us all. Bye! Thank you!
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa English. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!